At a quiet family dinner, my dad calmly said the words I'd spent my whole life trying not to hear. Your sister's family comes first. You're always last. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just said, good to know. That one sentence changed everything. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 32 years old. And I need to tell you what happened after those 7 words destroyed my family forever. Because within 48 hours of that dinner, I did something I'd been too scared to do for a decade. I checked. I checked where all my money had actually gone. Every loan I'd given my family. Every emergency I'd funded. Every temporary help that was never repaid. The total? $127,000. $127,000 over 10 years. That's a down payment on a house. That's 2 years of salary for most Americans. That's my entire 20s spent funding my sister's lifestyle, my parents' retirement, and my brother's failed business ventures, while I lived in a studio apartment and drove a car from college. But here's the part that makes this story absolutely insane. They had a plan. A documented, written down, years-long plan to extract every penny they could from me. I found the evidence 3 days after that dinner. A shared Google Doc titled, Sarah's Contribution Schedule. Inside were spreadsheets. Calculations. Strategies for how to ask me for money. Notes on my emotional triggers. Actual scripts for guilt-tripping me. My father had written, use the family loyalty angle for amounts over $5,000. Sarah responds well to feeling needed. My mother had added, birthday and Christmas are good times to ask. She's more generous when feeling sentimental. My sister's comment, if she hesitates, remind her we supported her through college. She'll cave immediately. They had been running a 10-year con on me. And that dinner? Where my dad finally said out loud what they'd all been thinking. That was the moment I stopped being the family ATM. This is the story of how I stopped being the invisible safety net. The one who always paid, fixed, and sacrificed, without ever being asked how much it was costing me. I quietly separated my money, my plans, and my future from a family that had learned to rely on me instead of respect me. Then a real family emergency hit. They expected me to step in like always. To rescue them, to pay the price. I didn't, and what happened next exposed 20 years of lies. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Let me start from the beginning. I'm the oldest of 3 kids. My sister Amanda is 2 years younger. My brother Tyler is 5 years younger. Growing up, I was the responsible one. Straight A's, full scholarship to college, graduated with honors in finance. Amanda was the golden child. Beautiful, popular, married her high school sweetheart at 22. Tyler was the baby. The one my parents babied even into his 30s. When I graduated at 22, I got a good job. Financial analyst. Started making $68,000 a year. That's when it started. Small at first. Sarah, can you help Amanda with her wedding? Just $3,000 for the venue deposit? I said yes. It was her wedding. Then, Sarah, Tyler needs help with his first month's rent. $1,200. Can you cover it? I did. Then, Sarah, Dad's truck broke down. $4,000 for repairs. Can you loan him that? I could. So I did. But, loan, was the wrong word. Because nothing was ever repaid. Every time I asked about repayment, I got the same responses. We're family. We don't keep score. You're doing so well financially. You can afford it. After everything we did for you growing up, this is the least you can do. That last one was their favorite weapon. Guilt. They kept a running tally of every parental expense. Braces? $4,000. College application fees they'd paid? $800. That time they co-signed my first apartment? Priceless, apparently. So I paid, and paid, and paid. By 25, I'd given my family over $40,000. By 28, it was $80,000. By 32, it was $127,000. And I was still living in a 400-square-foot studio apartment. Still driving my 2012 Honda Civic. Still shopping at Target and clipping digital coupons. Meanwhile, Amanda lived in a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs. Drove a brand new SUV. Her kids went to private school. She went to wine country twice a year. Tyler had tried 4 different business ventures, all funded by me. All failed. He now worked part-time at a gym and lived in my parents' basement. My parents had renovated their entire house. New kitchen, new bathrooms, new deck. They'd taken 3 cruises in the past 2 years. All while telling me they were just getting by. And I believed them. Because they're my family. Why would they lie? Then came that dinner. It was supposed to be a celebration. My promotion. I'd just made senior financial analyst. My salary jumped to $102,000. I was so proud. I'd worked so hard. I invited everyone to my favorite restaurant. My treat. We ordered, made small talk. Then Amanda said something that should have been my first clue. So Sarah, with your new salary, we should talk about college funds for the kids. What do you mean? Well, you're doing really well now. And Lucas starts kindergarten next year. We're thinking private school, but it's $18,000 a year. If you could cover half, that would really help us. I stared at her. $9,000 a year? For 5 years? It's family, Mom said. You help family. I looked at Dad, waiting for him to say something. To defend me. To say that was too much to ask. Instead, he said, Amanda's kids come first, Sarah. They're young. They need opportunities. You're single, no dependents. You'll always come last in terms of family priorities. That's just how it works. The table went silent. Your sister's family comes first. You're always last. He said it so casually. Like it was obvious. Like I should have known. Amanda nodded. Exactly. So you understand why we need your help. I put my fork down. Good to know. What? Mom asked. Good to know where I stand. Sarah, don't be dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being informed. Dad just told me I'm last. I appreciate the honesty. I stood up. Put $100 on the table for my meal. I need to go. Sarah, wait, Amanda started. No, I'm good. Enjoy your dinner. I left. Got in my car. Drove home. And for the first time in 10 years, I started asking questions I should have asked a long time ago. Where did all my money actually go? Did they really need it? Or did they just want it? And what would happen if I stopped giving? Now here's where things get really interesting. I got home and did something I'd never done before. I created a spreadsheet. Every single transfer I'd ever made to family members. Every Venmo, every check, every loan. Date, amount, purpose, whether it was repaid. It took me 4 hours. When I finished, I stared at the total. $127,340. $127,000. To Amanda. $54,000. Wedding expenses. $8,000. Down payment, loan, $15,000. Car repair, emergencies, $9,000. Kids expenses, $12,000. Random, help, $10,000. To my parents, $48,000. Dad's truck, $4,000. Mom's dental work, $7,000. House renovations, $15,000. Emergency, medical bills, $8,000. Cruise, loans, $6,000. Random, help, $8,000. To Tyler, $25,340. First business food truck, $8,000. Second business app idea, $6,000. Third business gym franchise, $7,000. Rent payments, $4,340. Not one penny had been repaid. Not one penny. I felt sick. But then I remembered something Amanda had said at dinner. With your new salary, we should talk about. How did she know about my promotion? I hadn't told anyone yet. I logged into my email. Searched for salary and promotion. Found an email from my boss. Congratulating me. Outlining my new compensation package. Sent 3 weeks ago. I checked the email settings. My Gmail was set to forward all messages to another email address. mitchellfamilyplanning@gmail.com. What? I'd never set that up. But someone with access to my account had. I checked my Google account activity. Someone had accessed my account from my parents' IP address 6 months ago. Changed the forwarding settings. They'd been reading my emails. Monitoring my income. Planning their asks based on my financial situation. I felt violated. But I kept digging. I accessed the forwarding email address. Used, forgot password, and got it sent to my phone. I was still on my parents' family phone plan. I got in. And what I found made my hands shake. Years of my emails. Forwarded. Organized into folders. Sarah income. Sarah expenses. Sarah savings. Sarah emotional state. That last one had dozens of emails. Personal emails to friends. Therapy appointment confirmations. Journal entries I'd emailed to myself. They'd been reading everything. One folder was titled, Strategy Sessions. I clicked it. Inside were emails between my parents, Amanda, and Tyler. Thread from 2 years ago. Mom. Sarah got her tax return. $4,200. We should ask for something before she spends it. Dad. Agreed. I'll tell her the truck needs work. She always falls for car problems. Amanda. Ask for $4,000 exactly. Leave her with a little so she doesn't feel completely drained. Tyler. You guys are geniuses. Thread from last year. Amanda. Sarah seems stressed about money lately. She mentioned wanting to save for a house. Mom. We need to slow down requests. If she starts saving seriously, she'll have less available for us. Dad. I'll tell her I need a loan for business expenses. That'll drain her savings account. Amanda. Perfect. I read thread after thread. Years of coordinated manipulation. They discussed my triggers. Mention family loyalty when amount is over $5,000. Bring up childhood sacrifices when she hesitates. Amanda should cry if Sarah says no. Remind her she has no kids, so she doesn't need as much money. They rated their success. Amanda. Ask Sarah for $3,000 for Lucas's birthday party. She said yes immediately. 10 out of 10. Tyler. Told Sarah my business needed $5,000 investment. She lectured me but gave it anyway. 8/10. Would improve story next time. They even had a shared Google Doc. I clicked the link. Sarah's contribution schedule. Inside was a spreadsheet tracking my estimated annual income, my expected raises and bonuses, how much they'd taken each year, how much they planned to take next year, notes on my resistance level. 2024 column showed projected income $102,000, already extracted $14,000, goal for remainder of year $18,000, total target $32,000. There were notes. Sarah's promotion equals increase ask frequency. Target savings before she has enough for house down payment. Amanda's kids' private school equals perfect guilt angle. My father had written in the comments section. Sarah responds well to feeling needed. Frame requests as emergencies or time-sensitive opportunities. Avoid giving her time to think. Pressure plus guilt equals compliance. My mother had added, if Sarah sets boundaries, recruit Tyler to make her feel guilty about abandoning family. She'll cave to keep peace. Amanda's comment, remind her she was the easy child who never caused problems. She'll want to maintain that image. I sat there reading their playbook for manipulating me. 10 years of psychological warfare. Documented, strategized, executed. They'd been running a long con on me since I was 22 years old. I felt like I couldn't breathe. But then I found one more folder. Emergency fund access. I clicked it. Inside was a thread from 3 months ago. Amanda. Sarah's been weird about money lately. She asked me when I'm paying her back for the down payment. Dad. That's concerning. She's never asked for repayment before. Mom. We need a contingency plan. What if she stops giving? Tyler. Can we access her accounts directly? Dad. Legally? No. But we could add her to a family bank account, then add ourselves to hers through some excuse. Amanda. That's too risky. What if she notices? Mom. We have her email password. We could reset her bank password, transfer what we need, then change it back. Dad. Only as a last resort. That's technically illegal. Amanda. So is everything else we've been doing, morally speaking. Tyler. Lol, true. They'd discussed stealing from my bank account. As a backup plan for when I stopped giving voluntarily, I took screenshots of everything. Every email, every spreadsheet, every strategy document. Then I did something I should have done years ago. I called a lawyer. But if you think that's the most shocking part, wait until you hear this. The lawyer's name was Rebecca Chen. She specialized in financial exploitation and family law. I showed her everything. The emails, the spreadsheets, the forwarded messages. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she sat back. Sarah, what they've done is called financial abuse. It's a form of domestic abuse. But they're not my spouse. Doesn't matter. Financial abuse can happen in any relationship where there's an imbalance of power and systematic exploitation. Can I sue them? Possibly. But here's the challenge. You gave them money voluntarily. There's no written loan agreement. No promissory notes. Legally, courts could view this as gifts. Even though they manipulated me? Manipulation is hard to prove. But the email forwarding? That's unauthorized access to your digital accounts. The discussion of resetting your bank password? That's conspiracy to commit fraud. So what can I do? Two options. 1. We send them a cease and desist letter demanding they stop requesting money and stay out of your financial accounts. 2. We pursue a civil suit for fraud and unauthorized account access. I want option 2. That will destroy your relationship with them. I think it's already destroyed. I just didn't know it yet. Rebecca nodded. Then let's build the case. Over the next week, she helped me gather more evidence. We pulled bank statements showing the transfer pattern, the forwarded emails showing coordination, the Google Doc with the extraction plan, my documented timeline of every request. Then Rebecca suggested something I hadn't thought of. Do you have any recordings of them asking for money? No. Why? Because if we had audio of them using guilt tactics or making false promises about repayment, that would strengthen the case. I didn't have recordings, but I had something else. Family text threads. I went through years of messages. Found dozens of conversations. Amanda 2 years ago. Sarah, I need $4,000 for property taxes by Friday or we lose the house. Please, I'll pay you back next month, I swear. I'd sent the money. She never paid back. And I later learned she'd lied. The taxes weren't due for another 3 months. Dad 18 months ago. Sarah, emergency. Mom needs surgery. $8,000. Insurance won't cover it. She's in pain. Can you help your mother? I'd sent it immediately. Later found out the surgery was cosmetic eyelid lift and completely elective. Tyler 1 year ago. Sis, I'm about to be homeless. Landlord is evicting me tomorrow. Need $2,000 for rent or I'm on the street. Please. I sent it. He wasn't being evicted. He wanted money for a motorcycle. Message after message of manipulation. Lies. Fake emergencies. Rebecca photographed everything. This is good. This shows a pattern of deception. They created false emergencies to pressure you into giving money immediately, without time to think. They're really good at it. They've had 10 years of practice. 2 weeks after that dinner, I was ready. Rebecca drafted the lawsuit. Sarah Mitchell versus Amanda Peterson, Robert Mitchell, Linda Mitchell, and Tyler Mitchell. Claims: fraud and misrepresentation, unauthorized access to digital accounts, conspiracy to commit financial exploitation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Damages sought: $127,340 plus emotional damages. We filed it. Then I did something else. I changed every password, email, banking, social media, everything. I enabled 2-factor authentication. I removed my parents from my phone plan. I blocked them from my location sharing. I locked down my credit with all 3 bureaus. And I texted the family group chat. You've been served with a lawsuit. Do not contact me except through lawyers. Any requests for money will be documented and used as evidence. We're done. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Mom, what is this? You're suing US? Dad, Sarah, this is insane. We're your family. Amanda, you're really going to destroy this family over money? Tyler, wow, didn't know you were this selfish. I didn't respond, just screenshot every message and sent them to Rebecca. An hour later, Mom called from a number I didn't have blocked. I answered, put it on speaker, recorded it legal in my state with one-party consent. Sarah, what the hell is going on? You know what's going on. You've been systematically manipulating me for 10 years to extract money. That's not true. We're family. We help each other. Did you set up email forwarding on my account without my permission? Silence. Did you and Dad and Amanda have strategy sessions about how to manipulate me? We never said manipulate. You had a Google Doc titled, Sarah's Contribution Schedule, with targets for how much to take from me each year. We were just trying to organize. Mom, did you lie about needing surgery? Did Amanda lie about property taxes? Did Tyler lie about being evicted? More silence. I have proof of everything. Emails, texts, your own words. And I'm taking all of it to court. Sarah, please. We can work this out as a family. We're not a family. We're a con and a mark. I was the mark. That's not fair. What's not fair is that I gave you $127,000 and you called me selfish. What's not fair is that Dad said I come last. What's not fair is that you treated me like an ATM for 10 years and thought I'd never notice. We needed help. No, you didn't. You went on cruises. You renovated your house. Amanda drives a $50,000 SUV. You didn't need help. You're just greedy. My mother started crying. How can you say that? We're your parents. Parents don't exploit their children. Parents don't coordinate schemes to drain their savings. Parents don't read their private emails without permission. We were just worried about you. You were monitoring my income to optimize your extraction strategy. I have the emails, Mom. She hung up. 10 minutes later, I got an email from a lawyer representing my parents. They were counter-suing me for defamation and harassment. Rebecca laughed when she saw it. They're going with the Darvo strategy. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Classic abuser tactic. Will it work? Not when we show the evidence. But it tells us they're going to fight this ugly. She was right. Over the next month, my family launched a full assault. They posted on Facebook that I was having a mental breakdown and making false accusations. They told extended family I was trying to extort them. They sent flying monkeys, aunts, uncles, family friends, to call and text me about working it out. Every single one got the same response from me. I'm happy to forward you the evidence if you want to see what really happened. Most didn't want to see it. They just wanted me to stop causing drama. But 3 people, my Aunt Lisa, my cousin Morgan, and my grandmother's sister Great Aunt Helen, asked for the evidence. I sent it. The responses changed everything. Aunt Lisa. Oh my God. Sarah, I had no idea. This is horrible. I'm so sorry. Cousin Morgan. Holy shit. They did this to you for 10 years? That's insane. Great Aunt Helen. Your father learned this from his father. I watched my brother-in-law do this to your grandmother for 40 years. I'm so sorry it happened to you too. That last message hit me hard. This was generational. My dad had learned financial exploitation from his dad, who'd done it to grandma. And now they'd done it to me. But Great Aunt Helen told me something else. Something that changed the entire case. Sarah, your grandmother knew. Before she died, she told me what your father was doing to you. She was planning to change her will to protect you. What? She died before she could finalize it. But she told me her lawyer has documents. Notes about her concerns. You should contact him. I called Grandma's estate lawyer the next day. His name was Martin Kowalski. He remembered me. Sarah, yes, your grandmother spoke about you often in her final months. Great Aunt Helen said she had concerns about my father? She did. She specifically mentioned that she believed you were being financially exploited by your family. She wanted to set up a trust for you that they couldn't access. Did she? She started the process. I have her notes. But she passed before we finalized the paperwork. Can I see the notes? They're part of her estate file. But given that you're a named beneficiary and you're in litigation with the other heirs, yes, I can share them. He sent me the documents. Pages of my grandmother's handwriting. Robert calls Sarah constantly asking for money. Linda coordinates with Amanda. They're using her. She doesn't see it. Sarah told me she's given them over $60,000. She thinks it's normal. It's not normal. It's abuse. I need to protect her. If I leave her money directly, they'll manipulate her into giving it to them. I need a trust she can't access until she's ready to set boundaries. Asked her yesterday if she's happy. She said yes, but her eyes said no. She's exhausted, being drained dry. My grandmother had seen what was happening. She'd tried to save me, but she died before she could. I cried reading her notes. But they also gave me something crucial. A witness, someone outside the situation who documented my family's behavior. Rebecca was thrilled. This is third-party corroboration. Your grandmother, before her death, documented concerns about your family's exploitation. This is huge. We added it to the case file. And then something happened I didn't expect. Amanda's husband, Derek, called me. Sarah, we need to talk. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. I almost didn't answer Derek's call. Amanda's husband had always been quiet at family gatherings. Pleasant but distant. But something in his voice made me pick up. What do you want, Derek? To apologize. And to tell you the truth. About what? About everything. Can we meet? In person? There's stuff you need to know that I can't say over the phone. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a coffee shop far from our neighborhood. Derek looked terrible. Tired. Stressed. He sat down and immediately started talking. I didn't know the extent of it until last week. The lawsuit. Amanda's been freaking out, making calls, trying to coordinate a defense. And I started asking questions. And? Sarah, I'm so sorry. I knew they asked you for money. I didn't know they were organizing it, planning it, lying to you. You knew some of it though. I knew Amanda asked you for help sometimes. She told me you volunteered. That you liked helping. I swear, I didn't know she was lying about emergencies. He pulled out his phone. Showed me a screenshot. It was a text thread between Amanda and my mother. Amanda. Derek's asking questions about the money we've gotten from Sarah. Mom. What did you tell him? Amanda. That she offers. That she wants to help. Mom. Good. Keep him out of this. If he knows the full plan, he might object. Amanda. He's already suspicious about the private school money. Says it's too much to ask from Sarah. Mom. Tell him Sarah insisted. Make him think it was her idea. Derek looked at me. She's been lying to me too. Making me think you wanted to give us money. I feel like an idiot. You didn't know. I should have. The amount of money she was getting from you. It never made sense. But she always had an explanation. What changed? Why are you telling me this now? He pulled out more screenshots. Because I found these yesterday. Amanda's been hiding them from me. The first was a message between Amanda and Tyler. Tyler. Derek's asking too many questions about Sarah's lawsuit. Think he'll side with her? Amanda. If he does, I'll divorce him and take everything. That'll shut him up. Tyler. Lol damn sis. The second was between Amanda and my parents. Amanda. Worst case scenario. If Sarah wins the lawsuit and we have to pay, I'll just file for bankruptcy. Derek will have to cover my debts, and then I'll divorce him after. Dad. Smart. Derek's hands were shaking. She's planning to destroy me financially and then leave. I've been working 60-hour weeks to pay for our life. The house, the cars, the kids' school. She hasn't worked in 8 years. And this is how she talks about me. Derek, I'm so sorry. There's more. This is the worst part. He showed me another screenshot. This one made my blood run cold. Amanda. If the lawsuit gets bad, we need to move money around so Sarah can't collect. I'm thinking we transfer assets to Mom and Dad's name, then file bankruptcy. Sarah gets nothing, and we keep the house. Mom. That's fraud. Amanda. Only if they catch us. And who's going to tell? Dad. I like it. We do this right. Sarah sues and gets nothing. Tyler. You guys are criminal masterminds lol. They were planning to commit bankruptcy fraud to avoid paying me back. Derek, can you send me these screenshots? Already did. To your lawyer. I contacted Rebecca Chen's office yesterday. What? Sarah, I'm not going to be part of this. What they did to you is horrible. And what Amanda's planning to do to me is worse. So I'm cooperating with your lawsuit. Won't Amanda divorce you for that? Probably. But at least I'll have my integrity. And honestly, I'd rather be divorced than be married to someone who'd do this. He stood up to leave. Then stopped. One more thing. Amanda has a safe deposit box I'm not supposed to know about. She keeps cash there. From you, I think. Money she told me went to expenses but actually just hoarded. How much? Last time I saw it? About $15,000. Why is she hoarding cash? I think she was planning to leave me eventually. She's been building a secret fund. With money she stole from me. Derek left. I immediately called Rebecca and forwarded everything. This changes everything, she said. We have evidence of bankruptcy fraud, asset concealment, and conspiracy. And we have a cooperating witness who's willing to testify. Can we stop them from moving assets? I'll file for a temporary restraining order today. They won't be able to transfer or hide anything without violating a court order. She did. By end of day, my family was legally frozen. They couldn't sell their house, transfer money, or move assets without court approval. My mother called me screaming, "You froze our accounts. We can't pay our bills. You should have thought of that before planning to commit fraud. We weren't going to actually do it. You discussed it in writing. That's conspiracy. Sarah, please. You're destroying us. No, Mom. I'm protecting myself. You tried to destroy me first. I'm just defending. She hung up. 2 hours later, I got a call from Tyler. Sarah, can we talk? Like, actually talk? Why? Because I feel like shit, and I want to make this right. You participated in a 10-year scheme to rob me. I know, and I'm sorry. I was young and stupid and I just went along with what Mom and Dad and Amanda were doing. I didn't think about how it was affecting you. Tyler, you're 27 years old. That's not young. I know, I have no excuse, but I want to help now. How? I'll testify. For you. Against them. I was silent. Sarah, I'm serious. I'll tell the court everything. How they planned it. How they coached me on what to say. All of it. Why would you do that? Because it's the right thing to do. And because Derek leaving Amanda made me realize something. What? That maybe the problem isn't you setting boundaries. Maybe the problem is that our family is toxic and you're the only one brave enough to say it. Tyler, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm just offering to help. I talked to Rebecca. She was skeptical. It could be a setup. They could be sending him to gather information. Or he could be genuine. Do you trust him? I thought about it. Tyler was the baby. The one they'd controlled most. Maybe he was waking up. I think so. Then let's meet with him. With a recording device. If he's genuine, great. If he's not, we'll catch him lying. We met. Tyler, me, Rebecca, and her paralegal as a witness. Tyler told us everything. How Dad had taught him to ask for money by making me feel guilty. How Amanda had coached him on lying about emergencies. How they'd celebrated every time I gave them money, calling it Sarah's contribution, like it was a game. How he'd felt wrong about it but went along because that's what family does. Rebecca asked him hard questions. His story stayed consistent. At the end, she said, if you're willing to sign a sworn statement and testify in court, we'll accept your cooperation. I'll do it. He did. Signed a formal statement. Agreed to testify against our parents and Amanda. The betrayal within the betrayal. My family had betrayed me, and now they were betraying each other. 3 weeks later, we went to court for the preliminary hearing. My parents showed up with their lawyer. Amanda showed up with hers. They looked confident. Then Derek walked in on my side of the room. Amanda's face went white. Then Tyler walked in, sat next to me. My father stood up. Tyler, what the hell are you doing? The right thing, Dad. The hearing lasted 4 hours. Rebecca presented evidence. The Google Doc. The email forwarding. The strategy messages. The bankruptcy fraud plan. Derek's testimony. Tyler's sworn statement. Grandmother's notes. My family's lawyers tried to argue it was all taken out of context, or family discussions, not actual plans. The judge wasn't buying it. This is one of the most systematic cases of financial exploitation I've seen. The documentation is extensive. The intent is clear. He ruled in my favor on every preliminary motion. The case would proceed to trial. And in the meantime, my family couldn't access their accounts without court permission. That night, I got a message from my dad. You win. How much to make this go away? I screenshot it and sent it to Rebecca. Is he admitting guilt? It sounds like it, but don't respond. Let him stew. A week later, their lawyers reached out about settlement. They offered $50,000. Half of what they owed. I declined. They offered $75,000. I declined. They offered $100,000 plus a written apology. I almost considered it, but then I remembered something. My dad saying, "You're always last." I declined. Full amount plus emotional damages. And a public admission of what they did. They refused. So we went to trial. So what does all this mean for us today? Let me tell you what happened after we went to trial. The trial lasted 2 weeks. My lawyer presented everything. The Sarah's contribution schedule, Google Doc. Years of coordinated messages. Evidence of lies about emergencies. The email forwarding scheme. Plans to commit bankruptcy fraud. Derek testified about Amanda's secret conversations and hidden cash. Tyler testified about being coached to manipulate me. Great Aunt Helen testified about my grandmother's concerns. The defense tried to paint me as a bitter, vindictive daughter who'd given money freely and now regretted it. But when Rebecca showed the jury messages like, "Sarah responds well to feeling needed. Frame requests as emergencies. Pressure plus guilt equals compliance." The mood in the courtroom shifted. You could see it on the jurors' faces. This wasn't family helping family. This was systematic exploitation. My mother took the stand. She cried, said they never meant to hurt me. They were just struggling, and I was doing so well. Rebecca asked her one simple question. If you were struggling, why did you go on 3 cruises while Sarah was living in a 400-square-foot apartment? Mom had no answer. My father tried to defend the Google Doc. It was just planning. Families plan. Families plan how to manipulate their children for money. That's not what it was. Then what was target savings before she has enough for house down payment mean? We didn't want her to make a bad investment. By taking her down payment money for yourselves? He had no good answer. Amanda didn't testify. Her lawyer advised against it. Probably because she'd have to explain the bankruptcy fraud plan. After 2 weeks, the jury deliberated for 4 hours. They came back. Verdict. In favor of plaintiff Sarah Mitchell on all counts. Damages awarded. $127,340 return of funds. $75,000 emotional distress. $50,000 punitive damages. Total. $252,340. Plus they had to pay my legal fees. The courtroom was silent. My mother sobbed. My father looked stunned. Amanda stared at the table. The judge spoke. I've seen many cases of financial abuse in my career. This is among the worst. Not because of the amount, but because of the systematic, calculated nature of it. For 10 years, you exploited your daughter's love and sense of family obligation. You lied to her. You manufactured emergencies. You monitored her income without consent. You planned to commit fraud to avoid accountability. This judgment stands, and I'm issuing a permanent restraining order preventing any of you from contacting Ms. Mitchell for purposes of requesting money or financial assistance. It was over. But here's the reality of winning a lawsuit. Getting a judgment and collecting money are 2 different things. Amanda filed for bankruptcy the next day. Listed the judgment as debt. My lawyer explained that bankruptcy might discharge Amanda's portion, but not my parents' portion because of the fraud. My parents had to liquidate assets. They sold their renovated house. Downsized to a small condo. They paid me $180,000 over 18 months. Still owe $72,000. Tyler never owed me money directly, but he sent me $3,000 voluntarily. It's not much, but it's what I can do. I accepted it, not because I needed it, but because it meant something. Total recovered. $183,000 of the $252,000 judgment. Derek divorced Amanda 6 months after the trial. She got the house but had to sell it because she couldn't afford the mortgage. She moved into a small apartment. Her kids had to leave private school. My parents' retirement was destroyed. They both went back to work part-time to pay bills. Some people said I was too harsh. That I destroyed my family over money. But here's what they don't understand. I didn't destroy my family over money. My family destroyed themselves by treating me like an ATM for 10 years. The money was just the evidence of the deeper betrayal. Now, here's what I learned. Lesson 1. Financial abuse is real. It doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It happens in families. When someone systematically uses guilt, obligation, and manipulation to extract money, that's abuse. Lesson 2. But their family is not a magic excuse. Biology doesn't give anyone the right to exploit you. You don't owe anyone access to your money just because you share DNA. Lesson 3. Document everything. The only reason I won was because they documented their own manipulation. If you suspect exploitation, save every text, email, and conversation. Lesson 4. Patterns matter more than individual incidents. One emergency request? That's normal family stuff. 10 years of coordinated requests with lies and manipulation? That's a pattern of abuse. Lesson 5. Some relationships cost more than they're worth. Keeping toxic family in your life because they're family is like keeping a broken dishwasher because it's a dishwasher. Sometimes you need to replace it with something that actually works. Lesson 6. Protect your accounts like you protect your body. No one should have access to your bank accounts, emails, or financial information without your explicit, ongoing consent. Passwords should be secret, even from family. Lesson 7. Forgiveness doesn't require reconciliation. I've forgiven my family in the sense that I'm no longer angry. But forgiveness doesn't mean letting them back into my life. They haven't changed, they just got caught. Now, here's where I am today, 2 years after that dinner. I'm engaged to someone wonderful named Marcus. He knows everything about my family. He's helped me rebuild my sense of trust. He's never asked me for money. Not once. We're buying a house together. A real house, with my recovered judgment money as the down payment. My parents send messages on holidays. I don't respond. Amanda tried to reach out last year. Asked if we could move past this. I said no. Tyler and I have limited contact. Coffee every few months. It's awkward but healing. Derek remarried. His new wife is lovely. We actually became friends through all of this. I started therapy to process the betrayal. It helped me understand that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't selfish. I was exploited. And I started a blog about financial abuse in families. To help others recognize the patterns. I've heard from dozens of people with similar stories. Families who've extracted hundreds of thousands. Parents who manipulate. Siblings who exploit. And every time, they say the same thing. I thought I was the only one. You're not. Financial abuse in families is common. It's just hidden. Because victims are too ashamed to talk about it. I'm not ashamed anymore. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Last month, something happened that I didn't expect. I got a letter, handwritten, from my mother. I almost threw it away. But something made me open it. Inside was a 5-page letter. Dear Sarah, I know you don't want to hear from me. I understand, but I need to write this because I need you to know the truth. Your father and I are getting divorced. He's been having an affair for 3 years. I found out 6 months ago. He's leaving me for her. And I'm sitting here in our tiny condo, working at 62 years old to pay bills, and I realized something. I have nothing. No savings. No retirement. No real friends. And no family. Amanda doesn't talk to me unless she needs something. Tyler barely calls. And you're gone. And it's my fault. I spent so much time focusing on getting money from you that I never focused on actually loving you. I taught Amanda to manipulate. I taught Tyler to use people. I taught myself that your value was in your wallet, not your heart. And now I'm alone. Truly alone. Your father is moving on with a woman who has money. He told me yesterday that he needs security, and I can't provide it anymore. The irony isn't lost on me. We spent 10 years taking from you for security, and now we have none. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I need you to know. I was wrong. About everything. You weren't last. You should have been first. And I'm sorry I didn't realize it until I lost everything. I'm sorry for the pain. The betrayal. The years of manipulation. I'm sorry I chose money over my daughter. I hope someday you can be happy. Because you deserve happiness. You always did. And I'm sorry I couldn't see it. Mom. I read it 3 times. Part of me felt vindicated. She finally admitted it. Part of me felt sad. This was my mother, broken and alone. But mostly, I felt nothing. Because the apology came too late. After she lost everything. After consequences forced her to look at herself. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry for what happened to her after. I showed the letter to my therapist. What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? Nothing. Is that wrong? Not at all. You don't owe her emotional labor. Not after what she did. But she's my mother. And she's clearly suffering. Suffering doesn't erase abuse. And her suffering is not your responsibility to fix. What if she changes? What if she's genuine? Then she can prove it through sustained, changed behavior over years. Without expectation of your forgiveness. I wrote back. 1 sentence. I hope you find peace. But I won't be part of your journey to find it. I didn't hear from her again. 2 weeks later, I got an email from Tyler. Subject. Dad. Hey Sarah, just a heads up. Dad's new girlfriend is apparently very wealthy. She bought him a new car. He's moving into her house. He told Amanda and me that he's starting fresh and doesn't want to deal with past mistakes. Meaning us. Amanda's pissed. I'm not surprised. Anyway, you were right to cut them off. I wish I'd been brave enough to do it sooner. Tyler. My father. who'd orchestrated a decade-long scheme to extract money from me, found a new target. A wealthier one. I almost laughed. Of course he did. Narcissists don't change. They just find new supply. I thought that would be the end of it. But last week, something else happened. Amanda showed up at my house. I didn't answer the door. But she left a package. Inside was a check for $5,000. And a note. Sarah, I can't pay back everything I took. But this is a start. I got a job. I'm working. And I'm trying to be better. Derek leaving was the wake-up call I needed. My kids asked me why Aunt Sarah doesn't visit anymore. I didn't know what to tell them. I told them the truth. That I was mean to you. That I took advantage. And that you had every right to protect yourself. My daughter asked if I could say sorry and make it better. I told her that sometimes sorry isn't enough. Sometimes you hurt people so badly that they can't forgive you. And you have to live with that. So I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking to be part of your life. I'm just trying to do better. For my kids. So they don't grow up like I did. Amanda. I stared at the check for a long time. Then I deposited it. Not because it was a lot. But because it was something. I didn't write back. But maybe someday I will. Because here's what I learned. People can change. Sometimes. Slowly. With real consequences and real accountability. Tyler changed when he saw Derek leave. Amanda's changing now that she's lost everything. Mom might change. Or she might not. I don't need to know. Because their change isn't for me. It's for them. My healing doesn't require their redemption. If this opened your eyes, here's what I want you to take away. So that's my story. The family dinner that exposed 20 years of lies. The systematic financial exploitation. The lawsuit that destroyed relationships but restored my dignity. And the slow, painful process of rebuilding a life without the people who raised me. Let me give you the final lessons. 1. Your worth is not your wallet. If people only value you for what you can give them, they don't value you. 2. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's survival. Protecting your money, your time, your energy, that's not mean. That's necessary. 3. Family should build you up, not drain you dry. Real family celebrates your success. Toxic family resents it and figures out how to take it. 4. You can't logic someone out of a position they manipulated themselves into. I tried for years to understand why they kept asking. The answer was simple. Because I kept giving. 5. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. When you set boundaries, toxic people will leave. Let them. They're doing you a favor. 6. Document everything. I only won because they documented their own manipulation. Save texts. Save emails. You'll need evidence. 7. You can forgive without reconciling. I've forgiven my family in the sense that I'm no longer angry. But I'll never let them back in my life. Now, here's where I am today. Marcus and I got married 3 months ago. Small ceremony. Just friends. We bought a beautiful 3-bedroom house. My dream home. Paid for with money I earned and protected. I'm promoted again. Making $125,000 now. And every penny goes to my life. Not theirs. We're trying for a baby. And when we have kids, they'll never know their biological grandparents. Not out of spite. Out of protection. I won't let my children be exposed to people who taught me that love is transactional. My parents reached out when they heard about the wedding. Through a lawyer. Asking for reconciliation. I said no. Amanda sends $200 every month now. Slowly paying back what she owes. We don't talk, but the checks come. Tyler and I have coffee every few months. We're rebuilding. Slowly. It's awkward but real. Derek is thriving. His new wife is wonderful. We actually became genuine friends through all this. And I started something new. A nonprofit helping people recognize and escape financial abuse in families. It's called Boundary Project. We provide resources, legal referrals, and support groups for people being exploited by family members. Last month, we helped 47 people set boundaries and protect their finances. Many of them said the same thing I used to think, but they're my family. I can't just cut them off. Yes, you can. And sometimes you must. Now I need something from you. First, drop a comment answering this question. Have you ever been financially manipulated by family? What was the moment you realized it? This conversation matters. You're not alone. Your story might help someone else. Second, Subscribe and hit the notification bell. I share stories about family dysfunction, setting boundaries, and rebuilding after betrayal. Third, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe someone always lending money to family. Maybe someone who feels guilty saying no. Maybe someone who needs permission to protect themselves. Fourth, if you're currently being financially exploited, document everything. Screenshots, bank statements, texts. You'll need evidence. Separate your finances immediately. Remove anyone's access. Change passwords. New bank if necessary. Stop giving money. Cold turkey. No more loans, gifts, or emergencies. Expect pushback. They'll guilt you, accuse you, recruit others. Stand firm. Get professional help. Therapist, lawyer, financial advisor. Build your team. Know your legal rights. Fraud is fraud, even within families. Prepare to lose relationships. Some family will side against you. That's okay. You're not losing relationships. You're discovering which ones were real. People ask if I regret suing my family. No. I regret not doing it sooner. Because the lawsuit wasn't about money. It was about truth. For 10 years, I'd been gaslit into thinking I was the problem. That I wasn't generous enough. That I didn't love my family enough. The lawsuit proved what I knew deep down. They were the problem. Not me. And that validation? That was priceless. One last update. My mother reached out last week. Through Great Aunt Helen. She's selling her condo. Moving to Arizona. Starting over. She wanted me to know that she's working on herself. And hopes someday to earn my forgiveness. I told Great Aunt Helen to tell her, I hope you find peace. But I don't need to be part of your journey. Because here's the final truth. Their redemption is not my responsibility. They broke trust. They exploited love. They stole years of my financial security. If they want to change, that's for them. Not for me. My healing doesn't require their redemption. My peace doesn't require their apology. My future doesn't include their presence. And I'm okay with that. So if you're watching this and you're the family ATM, the one everyone calls, the one who always pays, the one who's told, family comes first, while you come last, you don't have to keep doing this. You can say no. You can set boundaries. You can protect yourself. And if they call you selfish? Good. Be selfish. Choose yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person guaranteed to be there for your entire life. Everyone else? They're optional. Choose wisely. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of a community that values truth over obligation. I'm Sarah Mitchell. And I'm no longer anyone's ATM. See you in the next video.